Welcome, web editors. I'm Charlie Becker. I'll be walking you through this session on the media library, which is where you'll store your files and your images that you want to utilize on your new Sitecore based website for your chapter. So we've talked already about the content side of the house, which is where all your pages are. Now let's switch gears and talk about media library. So if you want to upload a newsletter or upload pictures, something like that, you're going to do it in the media library. And there's a couple of different places where you'll see it. You'll see it right here, you see it right here, and also right down here at the bottom. I tend to use this lower left one there. I'm going to click on media library. And I've already drilled down, and you can see under our chapter there's already two subfolders that we've set up for you. One's called files, the other is images. There's also this one called stock images. That's a little bit higher. It's not under your chapter. The files and the images is just for you to upload your the type of media into the appropriate place. So let's start off and say that we have a newsletter. We've got a page called newsletters. Let's say we need to upload a newsletter and we want the PDF available for download from our website. I'm going to click on files here, and then I'm going to click on upload file, and I'm going to click browse, and I'm going to go to where that newsletter is. In this case, it's our October issue of Pylon. That's our newsletter for chapter 252, as in the racing pylon. Okay, so the file has now been uploaded, and you can see it under files, October pylon, da da da. To be able to make that available to everybody on the website, I'm going to go back to the content editor, and I'm going to open up my chapter, get down to my chapter, and I'm going to go to newsletters. I'm going to click lock and edit. I'm going to scroll down under details to the page content and click show editor. And right here I'm going to write 2019 newsletters. And I'm going to delete this stock text that's here, and I'm going to put October. And now that I've got the text there, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to come up here and select this icon. And if you hover over them, it will say what they do. It says insert Sitecore link. The one next to it is insert Sitecore media. Let's just see what we've got here. And then we've got hyperlink manager. I'm going to go insert Sitecore link. I'm going to go to media items, and I'm going to drill down, and I'm going to click on the October pylon and click insert. And now this is a hyperlink to that PDF of the newsletter. So I'm going to click accept, and as we always do, I'm going to click save, go to the publish tab, ready to publish, publish, click the blue button for publish, and OK, and close. Now let's go check out the actual demo site here. I'm going to hit refresh, and I'm going to go to my newsletters page, and now we've gotten rid of that other text that was there, and there's an October, and if I click on that, it's going to bring up my PDF. So that's how you'd insert a PDF into your website using Sitecore and the media library. Okay, so that's PDFs. What about if we want to have a page with an image on it? Well, let's go over here to the old Chapter 252 site, and I'll show you how I would move over a page. I'm going to go to the About, and there's a section here about Steve Whitman, and you can see there's a photo here. So the first thing I want to do is I don't want to just try to copy this photo over with all the text. If I do that, the photo is still going to live on this URL over on webs.com, and it might look like it's there, but it's not actually loaded into Sitecore. We want to make sure we download this file and then upload it into Sitecore. So I'm going to right click, save image as, I'm going to call this Whitman Chief Oshkosh. Okay, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to put a -1 and click save. Okay, so now that I have that saved, I'm going to go back to Sitecore, and the first thing I need to do is I don't have a page for that yet. So I'm going to right click at the root, insert, and in this case I want a chapter's generic content page. And I'm going to call this one Steve Whitman. Click OK. And this page is unlocked because we just created it. So I am going to scroll down to our, I'm going to scroll down to the, under Details, which is kind of towards the top, and I'm going to click Show Editor. And now I'm in my rich text editor. I'm going to go back to that page. I'm going to just go ahead and highlight all the text. I'm even going to bring over that image. And again, you're going to see the image there. It's going to look like it's there, but again, it's referencing the old site. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. And just put a return in where that was. And now I've got all this text over here. And if you don't like the formatting of the text, you can strip it out using this tool right here, the little format stripper tool. And then you do have some controls over the size and the kind of font and whether it's a header or not. For right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. And so now I've got my text over here. I need to place the image in here. Okay. But first, I need to get it into our media library. Hold on a second. Do you want to save the changes for this item? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to jump over now to our media library. I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to upload a file. Browse. I'm going to go find that file that I had, and it was the one called -1. I'm going to open it. I'm going to upload it. So now the file exists in the media library. I'm going to go back to the content editor, go back to my page. I still have not locked it. Okay, so it's still unlocked. I'm going to go to the show editor, and I'm going to place that image. It was right here, but you know what I'd like to do? I'd actually like to put it up top, and I'd kind of like to have the text wrap around it. So I'm going to put it right up here, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to insert Site Core Media. That's this square with a plus sign in the upper left. And there we go. Under Images, I'm going to select Chief Oshkosh, Insert. Now, I put it where I wanted it, but it did not wrap the text around for me. The way you can do this is you click on the photo and then right-click and go to Properties. And you'll notice there's a drop down here called Image Alignment. And right now I have a big X. I'm going to pick this one that's over to the left so that the image is on the left side of the page. And then I'm also going to put 10 pixels around the top and the bottom and the right so that I have a little buffer and the text doesn't just bump right up against it. Okay, and that's what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to publish it. Ready to publish, publish, publish again, and OK. Okay, so now let's go look at the site. Let me go back here. I'm going to go to the home to refresh. I'm going to go to my Steve Whitman page, and there it is. Now, after having seen it, that picture looks rather large for this page. So I'm going to go back to my content editor. I'm going to scroll back up and lock and edit again. Go down to my rich text editor. I'm going to right click on that photo, go to Properties. This time, instead of the width of this photo 726, I'm going to knock it down to 500 pixels. And you'll notice that it's linked, so it's adjusting the aspect ratio as well. That looks a lot better to me. So I'm going to click Accept, Save, Ready to Publish, Publish. Publish again, and OK. And then as soon as that's done, let's go take a look at the page. So here's how it was. And that's how it is now. I like that a lot better. And you can continue to tweak this as you go along and play with that feature and get it to the right size. But that's just one way to add that's the way to add a image to text and then have the text wrap around it. Okay, now there's also this feature called photo galleries that we have built in. And let me show you what your two options on photo galleries are. The first one is a carousel approach. Let me find it in the. Let me go to my actual EA Chapter 252 Sitecore site. And while here I'm on a page, this page is a photo gallery where it lays out all the photos just 3 wide, and it just keeps going until it fills the page, and then it brings up a second page. So these are all our flying aircraft in Chapter 252. And as you can see, you can go ahead and put descriptions underneath them and things like that. So that's one way. That's the page of photos way. The other way is to do a carousel, and this would be an example of a carousel. Carousel is where you have one photo at a time that's displayed in full, and you can add more of these across the bottom. So those are your two options on having photos on a website. And so let's go ahead and walk you through how you might do one of those. First thing to do is probably go to your media library, and we're going to go under images again, but this time I'm going to actually create a subfolder. So I'm going to go insert media folder, and I'm going to call this members aircraft. And that just allows me to segregate all these images so that they're not mixed in with everything else. So I'm going to go ahead, and this time instead of uploading a single file at a time, I'm going to do several files at a time. So I click upload, I click this upload files with an S, advanced. I'm going to click browse. The process is pretty much the same here. I'm going to go to where my photos are, and it helps if your photos are descriptively named too. I find that to help. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first one, click OK. Then you can select the second one, OK. If you scroll down a little bit, you can browse to the third one, OK. Browse, fourth one, OK. So I got my 4 files selected. I click upload. It's now uploaded them. So here are my 4 images right there. So now I need to go back to the content side of the house, and I need to create my page. So I'm going to click here under EA Demo at the root, right click, insert. I'm going to go down to this chapter photos, and this time I'm going to call it members aircraft. And again, you want to be descriptive. You want your naming here to be what you really want it to be in the end. It'll help because it fills in a bunch of stuff for you. Now I want a carousel, and you'll notice right here under gallery details, the first button says show gallery as carousel. If I leave this alone, I'm going to get a photos page. If I want it in a carousel, I'm going to check that box. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay. And now what I do is I go over to this page on the left and select it, and I right click and I insert a chapters photo item. And on this case, the first aircraft is owned by Dennis Main that I'm going to from our chapter, and it's a Cessna 172. Now, try to be as descriptive as you can here, but just be aware that you can't put apostrophes in these names. So I'm going to click OK. So now what we've got this photo item, but this photo item is like a wrapper. It doesn't have, we still don't have the image here. We got to put the image in this wrapper. So I like to, the analogy I use is you make a cheeseburger. You go to a restaurant, you order a cheeseburger. They don't just hand you the cheeseburger. They take the cheeseburger and they put it in a little box, and then outside the box it says cheeseburger, and they check the little thing for ketchup and mustard or whatever, and then they hand it to you. Well, this right here is the box. It doesn't have an image yet. So we want to scroll down. Now that we have it selected, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go to Gallery Basic Info. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Photo Details, Gallery Media, and now we're going to click Browse. And that brings up this thing right here to select media. And you always want to use the tree version for what we're doing here. And then you just drill down, and there's your chapter, and you go under Images and Members Aircraft. And our first aircraft was Dennis Main's 172, and I hit Select. And now we actually have placed that cheeseburger in the box. So now the image is in the wrapper, and it could be published at this point. I'm going to try one more here. Let's see, we do want to save this, and we should probably just go ahead and ready to publish. It never hurts to do that. Okay, and now I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to right click at members aircraft, insert chapters photos item, and I'm going to do a Daniels Sonics. Okay, and I'm going to click OK, and I'm highlighted here. And now that I've got that set up, I've got my wrapper. I just got to put something in the wrapper. I come down to photo details again, browse. I'm going to click on the tree, and I just drill down to images, member aircraft, and there it is, Wayne Daniels Sonics. Select, save, ready to publish, publish. Okay. And just for good measure, I'm going to go up to the root and publish the whole thing. I just want to make sure that this publishes. Okay, never hurts to publish at the root. And let's go see if we had much success here. Let's see. Okay, so here's our website before. I'm going to hit refresh. Let's see here. Chapter 252. This is the demo site. Steve Whitman. Okay, I am not seeing it. Let me go back. I don't think I published this page. Sorry about that. I'm going to save, ready to publish, publish, publish. Okay. Close that out. Let's go over to our demo site. I'm going to hit refresh. And there it is, members aircraft. And here is our carousel. And right now we only have the 2 photos in our carousel. But we could continue to go on and on adding additional photos into our carousel. So that's how you would go ahead and add images to your website. Now let's talk about changing the banner. Right now we have a banner. It's a nice looking banner. I like the look of the site. But let's say we decide that we don't like the one that's on the page called, let's see, About Us. We don't like this Cessna. Okay, so we want to change out that banner. Now all you do is you go into your specific page, and what did I say? It was the About Us page. Okay, so we're going to click on the About Us page. We're going to go back up to the top here, lock and edit, and you can come down here and you can see here's our existing banner image. Okay, I'm going to clear that out and I'm going to click Browse. Now we have a whole bunch of stock banners to pick from. So I'm going to drill down and under chapters and I'm going to go stock image banners. And because I'm a Cub guy, I'm going to select Piper Cub. And there's your banner inserted. I'm going to hit save, ready to publish, publish, and OK. Alright, now I'm going to go back to the page and I'm going to hit refresh. And now instead of that Cessna 150, we've got a beautiful shot of a Piper Cub. Now, if I had changed this root banner, it would have flowed to all the pages that you would have seen this Swift on. So if you don't like that one, you can change it one time and it's going to change a bunch of pages on your site. So that's how you go about adding, changing your banner. Now, one last thing I want to show you, and that is how you would add video content to a website. And I'm going to go to YouTube real quick. There was a really great video that Chapter 524 just did on their Ray Aviation Scholars first flight. Let's see, it's called okay, let's say you have a video on YouTube that you want to display on your website. You could just link to it, which is fine, but on YouTube, if you come over here under Share, the first thing you see here, you can embed. And if you just copy this embed code, so Control C, I can now place that on a page on my Sitecore site. So I'm back over on Sitecore, and let's say I want to add it to, let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new content page, insert. You know what? This is related to Ray Scholars, so let me go down to the Ray Scholars page, and I'll just use that one. So I'm going to lock and edit. And I'm going to come down here to the Show Editor section. And when you're here, I can leave all that text. That's fine. The way you would do this is you click on this HTML button. And now you're actually in the HTML side of things. You just paste it in there. You don't really need to know what you're doing here. And just click Accept. Then you click Save. I'm sorry, Publish, ready to publish, publish, publish again, and OK. And I'm going to hit Close, and now let's go see how that turned out. So here I am back at the home, and go down to Ray Aviation Scholarship, and boom, there's this embedded video that will play like that. And it's a little loud, but that's a great video. If you get a chance, watch Buzzard Flies Solo. That's the Reagan Buzzard is their Ray Aviation Scholar for Chapter 524. Great video. It's very short. So that's how you would embed a video in a site. Hopefully this gets you going on adding images, files, and videos to your site. And if you have any other questions, just send them on to chapters@ea.org.